I recently had a chance to play the Blood Hunter in a one-shot on the Daring to Press YouTube channel, which you should totally go check out. It was an absolute blast. And as fun as that was, yeah, I am here to talk about my experience of what it was like playing a Blood Hunter. And spoiler alert, it was a good time. It was a good time. Your resource management is even more critical with this class because you are so easily going to succumb to death if you're not careful. You see how empty I am on resources? I've used up a bunch of stuff. Here's what you need to keep in mind. Adversaries and the environment are already going to be draining these resources. This plays into what I was saying before of I wish the domain card that was known as Vampiric Strike was available at level 3, or it was built into somewhere in the class abilities. Would go a long way in just a single hit point, but it would go a long way into making the character more manageable on your own without constantly feeling like everyone has to babysit you so that you don't die and that you don't feel like a liability to the team. Even if you had to limit it to being a class feature that you can only do once per rest or once per long rest, right? But maybe you like roll a D4 amount of hit points that you can, I don't know, but something to where we can alleviate that. And I think hope is a great resource to exchange for it. I say this because it is so important to me that the core of this game remains the same of having the fantasy to build whatever you want. However, in doing this high risk, high reward aspect, I think it is too punishing for people who are not playing as optimally as possible. Overall, man, I really do love the Blood Hunter. Like, I can't stop thinking about different character concepts involving this. With those minor tweaks and alterations about like the cost for certain abilities and alterations towards being self-sustaining, but also not being in a way where, you know, you're ignoring the need for a party. That's what I don't want. I still want you to be able to, it would be of great benefit to have a Seraph in the party. It would be a great benefit to have a Bard in the party. It'd be a great benefit to be around people who can give you different buffs and all these different things. And I experienced that in my game. Listen, I'm not a game designer, all right? I'm just a guy who rolls the dice. And I can tell you what, you know, what does feel great, what doesn't feel great. That's about as far as my expertise goes until I start designing my own classes and features and game stuff and whatnot. But as a player, I'm highly, highly impressed. I'm excited to see what they do when they start tweaking these classes, because in the adjustments that I've seen, this team really has their finger on the pulse.